And so I think it was my second astral projection, and I floated out of my body, and there was this huge shadow person right next to me. And it was probably like 7 feet tall. And it was so scary because I was 14 at the time, and I had no idea that these things existed. And all of a sudden I was like face to face with this thing. And and like I mentioned before, there's this like reflex that if you enter this state of heightened fear when you're out of body, you re-enter your body like instantly. So that happened, and I was pretty shook, but I decided to give it another go. So I shifted out of my body again, and this thing was still there. This huge shadow is just standing there, just facing me, and it was so freaky. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm good. I got back to my body, and you know, I didn't give up. Obviously, I tried it. The next day. I was trying this every day. So the next day, I had another projection, and more times than not, these shadow beings would be there, almost like they were waiting for me to leave my body. And sometimes they would just be standing there, just facing me. But other times they would come at me like they'd try to grab me. And almost every time it would cause me to re-enter my body because it's such a scary experience. There's nothing to compare it to.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that'd be terrifying. It'd be like a real life horror movie, basically.
Right. Exactly.
What
But
does it look like though?
it looks like a giant shadow, like a giant silhouette, like a dark, like a black silhouette. Like there's no detail, there's no face, there are no features. Like you can see like the form, the shape of the body, but it's kind of, but even that is not completely like solid. It's really hard to describe. And maybe there's some movies, some horror movies that kind of depict what it would look like. um but yeah, that's pretty much it. But after a while of these experiences and some experimentation, I realized that if I just completely ignored these shadow people, that I would be able to shift into a dimension higher than that dimension. You know, what I realized is that they exist in these very lower dimensions, like just above the physical world. If you shift into a higher dimension, you completely bypass their territory, and so you
Yeah.
won't even experience them at all. So eventually, I stopped encountering them, and and I started encountering these entities, which were like 10 times more frightening than them. Um, and these entities looked like aliens.
Yeah.
Um, they looked very similar to Gray, the Gray aliens,
Yeah, like the gray ones. Yeah.
but they
Like with
weren't
the
gray.
black eye. Oh,
Yeah, they had the big slanted black eyes, but they weren't gray. They were like a light orange color.
yeah.
and and they would stalk me, just like these shadow beings were always there when I would leave my body. Well, now it was these aliens, but the difference was that these aliens would affect me with this energy that was almost artificial. So like during these experiences, when you're having a projection, you experience strong energy, but it's your own energy, it's your energy body. But these aliens would almost like zap me. They would affect me in some way with this
Yeah.
energy that was so foreign from anything I had experienced, and I knew it came directly from them, and it had this paralyzing effect on me. And so sometimes I would leave my body and they would just be standing all around my bed, sometimes one or two, but sometimes an entire group of them. And it was like they were just like, I don't know, observing me, like analyzing. Sometimes they would be face to face with me, and it was so unusual because their faces sometimes they would twitch from side to side, almost like they had this mechanical quality to them, like they were glitching or something, and so disturbing. And I had experiences with these entities for years, and most of them were were pretty unpleasant.
Do you think it's possible um, that, say, like a civilization can become so technologically advanced that they can like almost create a machine that like projects you into the astral dimension? And
Sure.
like these like beings, like I'm just talking on my ass here, but like these beings could like theoretically be just like trying to study this astral dimension, but they don't really know a whole lot about it. And they're kind of like not really in it. Like they're like half in it, half not, because they're using like a device to get into it. Whereas you're getting into it just through like your mind, basically. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I've contemplated like the nature of these entities and how they exist in these higher dimensions, like if that's actually like where they live, or if they kind of just temporarily project there, like I do, like other people do. um you know I can't say for sure, but
So
it's certainly possible.
have you ever talked to any of them?
Yeah, in the beginning, I was so scared. I wouldn't allow the time for any kind of you know communication. But after a while, I started to realize, like, you know they weren't hurting me. Like, nothing bad has actually ever happened from these encounters, so let me just go with it. And even though every time I sensed this like sinister energy, like they were evil, I decided, all right, I'm just gonna go with it and see what happens. And so a couple times, um, they opened this type of like telepathic link with me, and they started giving me this information uh, on two occasions, two experiences that I wrote about in my book. They told me about this technology that they have. One of those times, they told me about this technology they have, which
Like in the
um,
physical world, the technology that they have in
mm,
the physical world, or technology that they have in the astral world?
I can't say for sure, but what I can say is that I don't think that's really an important distinction,
Okay.
because of the nature of the technology. What they do is they, in a way, record all knowledge that is accumulated by all living beings in the universe throughout time, throughout history. And they showed me this type of metallic spherical device, and I was told that this is where they keep all of this knowledge. Okay, pretty unusual experience. I don't know why they showed me that, but they did. On another occasion, they showed me this technology they have, which tracks me, and it doesn't track my body. It tracks my energy body, my astral body,
Okay.
and I was shown some type of like computer type technological screen. It seemed like some kind of GPS type of technology, and it makes sense that they don't track my physical body, but they track the activities of my energy body, my spirit or astral body,
Yeah.
because they always seem to be there, like waiting for me when I would leave my body. Like how else would they know that?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But like, do you think like do you think they should like do you think that's like ethical for them to have that kind of technology to like track you?
I,
I don't know. Like does that make sense? Like because these beings
yeah,
are
yeah,
basically
man.
on the same playing field as you, right? But they're tracking your like energy. I don't know, they're tracking your energy around. Sounds a little, I don't know. It sounds a little
Yeah, man.
totalitarian to me.
I think their concept of ethics and morality is completely different from ours.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, do you feel bad when you step on an ant walking out on the sidewalk?
Yeah. No, yeah, no. Like, I mean, I don't care if they're tracking me, but like, but it is an interesting question to think about, like, I guess interdimensional ethics. Uh,
Yeah, I've had many experiences with entities, which I could tell had compassion. And like
yeah,
I said, this group of beings did not. They were cold, hard, mechanical, and I just got this sinister vibe from them
yeah,
every time.
yeah. I mean, I would too. I mean, uh, yeah, yeah. They seem kind of just freaky.